activism need to be about keeping these commandments.
This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
It's Officer Eli. It's Officer Nahshon. Officer Ezekiel.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Most High in Christ bless you all. Happy new moon. We're celebrating the new moon, and we'll be moving into the Sabbath as the hours continue to wind down. I'm Bishop Yawasop, and to my right is...
Hey, Shalom. Good to be with you, Bishop. I'm Captain Dakar.
Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Captain Sariah.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Officer Eli.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. We're going to continue on with our series. The last time we were on, we talked about the 1619 project. Actually, this 1619 projected in black and white. Okay, and then, like I said in the last episode, I was making a point that I took put a spin on the 1619 project. Okay, and that's what we want to continue to focus on. And I'm going to give a subtitle to this particular episode. This is part 2. Okay, and we're going to call this one The Awakening. The Awakening from Racial Amnesia. From racial amnesia, because we as a people are suffering from racial amnesia. And the racial amnesia has affected us as a race, have affected us as a nation, where we've lost the history of our whole nation. And we are feeling the effects and the actions that have evolved, and the behavior that we are displaying now is a result of that absence of our history and the absence of our national memory. Okay, so let's get this information out the way here. Okay, Israel United in Christ. We always have to do this.
Yes, sir. Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1, King James Version.
And all praise to the Most High. And it's important for us to understand that we are about keeping the laws of the Most High. Mm-hmm. The Most High said, respect the powers that be, because the powers that be are ordained of Him. And one of the things that we need to do as pillars in our community, because that's what we are. Mm-hmm. The Most High is rising up brothers. He's rising up sisters, to be beacons of examples for our people to follow, to get themselves in the right order. Okay, that's what the book of Matthew is talking about when it says, let your light shine, that others may see your good works. So that's what our job is. Our job is to be that beacon of light, to lead our people back into the proper behavior that they're supposed to be in. So again, I just want to reiterate the title. Okay, the 1619 projected in black and white. And this is part 2 of our series, and I'm subtitling this one, The Awakening from Racial Amnesia. And we want to go more into the racial amnesia, and because of that absence of our memory, and we're going to outline some of the issues that has come from that. And we're going to also talk about the fact that there is a diabolical, it ain't divine at all, a diabolical plan to keep the history out of our people's mind, to keep the history out of the school system, to keep the history even in churches and religion. You know, when people are holding Bibles in their churches, mm-hmm. The Bible is a history book. But none of the history that's in the Bible is being attributed to the actual people who the Bible belongs to. Okay, when we say that the Bible is the book of our fathers, we're saying that because it is. It is literally the history of our people. It is the book of our fathers. We're the Israelites, and the Bible is our book. Okay, so whenever we don't learn this, we operate in an amnesic state. We operate like a people with no past, and because of that, all kinds of foolishness and crazy behaviors come from us. Okay, and we don't even understand the reason why we act this way. Men and women, black men and black women are like foreign countries to each other, like enemy countries. Okay, so there's a lot that has happened because of our absence of our history, and there is a concerted effort to keep us from this, and that's the reason why there was so much opposition against that sister. What was her name? Nicole Hannah. What was her name? Nicole Hannah. The last name, Jones.
Jones.
Yeah, was it Jones? Nicole Hannah Jones, the sister at the 13 Project.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Nicole Hannah Jones, right? Yeah.
Yes,
so thank you. So there was the reason why they're coming on her so much is not because of her credentials or anything. It's because of what she's bringing. And if she's trying to open up the history about 1619, which is a pivotal part of our history, that particular subject connects us to the Bible, because the history about slavery actually brings us to the Bible, and our enemies know this, so they're going to try to pluck up any kind of root, any kind of even a nuance that can bring us to this history, to this identity. So we can get rid of the amnesia. They want to get rid of the binding tie. They want to get rid of that conduit. They want to get rid of that connection. So that's the reason why there was so much opposition to her by our enemies, by our diabolical enemies. So let me start off by reading Romans. Let's get that. Romans 8:16. Let's line it up. Let's bring the people home. Let's bring them home now. Romans chapter 8 verse 16.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 16.
We're going to read about our Bible now. Come on.
The Spirit itself bears witness.
The Spirit, what is the Spirit? The Spirit is the Bible. That's what it's talking about. The Spirit is the Bible. Okay? To make it super clear, when it says the Spirit itself, the Spirit is Christ. Christ comes in the volume of the book. The words in this Bible, which is the words of Christ, bears our history. And as it bears our history, we connect with this. Read it again.
The Spirit itself.
The Bible itself, when the Bible is Christ. Go ahead.
Beareth witness.
It records. It bears witness. Go ahead.
With our spirit.
With our conscience. With our connect. It connects with us through history, through the facts, through the history of knowing that we are the ones that came over here on the slave ships. It bears witness to that. The records are written. It bared witness what?
That we are the children of God.
That we are the children of God. That's what Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, talks about. Deuteronomy chapter 28 is the Spirit that bears, the records are written, that bears witness with our history, bears witness with our reality, that says, you know what? You're the Israelites. That's the reason why the Bible says, and these curses shall be upon thee for a sign. So the sign is telling the whole planet Earth that these are the Israelites. And our enemies know that. And our enemies came together with one consent to say, you know what? Although we know that they're the Israelites, we cannot allow them to know that. And if there's any nuance or any kind of teaching, anything that can bridge them to this Bible, cut it off immediately. The same sister, Nicole Hannah Jones, she has all kind of awards. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Go back into the first part of this. As a matter of fact, we will implore you to go back and watch the first part, because we talked a lot about how the credentials that this sister have. There's no reason for them to cut her off from being able to bring this information to these people on these college campuses. But the college campus people, for them to get this, it can change everything, because it can bring them to this Bible, and they themselves will understand what we're reading here in Romans 8:16. So they don't want that. Okay, that's what an enemy does. An enemy don't want us to get that thing. Read that again, and we're gonna move on.
The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God.
That we are the children of God. The Bible points to us that we are the children of God. Once we read about them slave ships and read about them yokes of iron on our neck, and read about how our women were raped, how our men were sold for rum and sold a girl for wine,
Right.
all of that. That tells us that we're the Israelites. Okay, that tells us clear. Y'all got something to add? Because it looked like y'all was getting something.
Hey, Bishop, I do want to add it.
Come on with it.
A lot of times that when we share with the gospel with the people, they'll say, well, they always run to Deuteronomy. Let's go to the New Testament. I got a script I want to pull.
Yeah, come on with
Give
it.
me Romans chapter 3. Because what Bishop is talking about, we want to show, and not only show, but know that we have a connection with the Bible, which is the book of our Father. We're the children of God. Read it, Officer Eli, 3 and 1.
The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way.
Right there, Officer Eli. Much every way. Why? Because this is our history. It's going in showing, we just want to show that not only is that our history in the new covenant, it's letting our people know that we must be the ones continue to keep this covenant. We have to come back to where we need to come back to. Because why? Read.
Chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
This is our book. This is our history. This is our salvation. That's what we want them to know. We're just going back over what was given to us. We're going back to the covenant, the agreement that was made with us. And so that's what we want to expound on. That's what I want to touch on, Bishop.
Oh, hey, read on. There's more in there. I want to get some more. You done open it up now.
Verse 3.
Come on, read.
For what if some did not believe?
What if some of you don't want to believe that this Bible is the book of the Israelites? This is a good part. I want this thing to slap you upside the head what we just read. Read that statement again.
For what if some did not believe?
What if some of you people out there with your evil selves I'm talking about you Edomites, the nations that's trying to say that the Israelites are not, that's trying to say that we're not the Israelites. What if some of you try to say that the Bible is not the book of our fathers? Read it again.
For what if some did not believe?
What if some of you don't want to believe it? Go ahead.
Shall their unbelief make the faith?
Show your dumb unbelief make the faith of the Bible of none effect. Read the whole statement.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
No, because the faith of God points clearly that we are the children of the Most High.
That's
That's
right.
what Romans 8 was saying. That the Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we are the sons and daughters of God. Okay? Read that again.
Verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
So your unbelief, your small mind, you think you're gonna stop the word of God. You and your diabolical plots that try to stop the truth from coming out, trying to stop this from being taught in the schools, trying to stop this from being taught on the radio, trying to stop it from being taught on TV, trying to stop it from being taught in the colleges. Read it again.
For what if some did not believe?
Go ahead.
Shall their unbelief
So
make
your
the faith?
unbelief ain't gonna stop nothing. Go ahead. Shall their unbelief do what?
Make the faith of God without effect.
You think that your plan is going to stop the prophecies of God? The faith of the Most High is His prophecies. You're not going to stop the prophecies of God. The Most High going to wake His Israelite people up, and the rest of our people that don't wake up, they're going to die. Read it again. For what if some?
For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Show your unbelief. You coming up with other doctrines, other strange, coming out with doctrines, different philosophies, all that crap.
Right.
None of that mess is going to stop this. Read it again.
Verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
No, you ain't going to stop nothing. The Most High said He declared the end from the beginning. And from former times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Read it again.
Verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Go ahead.
God forbid.
God said, no, your unbelief ain't going to stop nothing. The only thing that's going to stop is your heart. That's what the Most High going to put you to death. Ain't none of you going to stop the words of this prophecy. None of you. So when that Bible says that we are the sons and daughters of the Most High, it means that, and we going to follow that. So the Most High going to get this truth out in this earth regardless. It's already written.
Bishop, they trying to stop. I was looking at the name Nicole Jones. They trying to stop her, just like now what you're bringing out. They trying to stop this gospel from getting out, and she had to come back and she had to hire attorneys. She had attorneys. She having to push back against them now,
right?
And basically she having to sue them because that tender is rightfully it's rightfully hers.
Exactly,
and she earned it, and they coming after her, and they trying to tell her, I was reading the story, they're just trying to tell her if she can just kind of go along with things right now, maybe things could change as it goes.
Basically, they want her to water down the project. Mm-hmm. That's what they wanted to do. They want to take, I ain't read it, but I already know how these diabolical people think. They said, listen, at some point, we're going to have to give this girl, give her position, because we're going to look like complete Satan. But listen, could you just tone it down just a little bit? Could you take some of that information out? That's what they're going to try to do to her, okay, to water it down. And to turn them into the rest of the people that's in college doing nothing. Okay?
Bishop, you spoke on it earlier. You were talking about that amnesia. And you can't even put a number on, even in the Christianity church, Captain Carl, you can relate to it. We was once there.
Absolutely.
The amnesia of not knowing none of this stuff and just going about the way the system is set up. And then you have a sister like the Jones here that's bringing in true history, and then you take the prophets of the Most High God, like ourselves and the other brothers that's out there, Israel United in Christ, one of the main ones talking about, and bringing that word out and connecting the dots where it started opening people's minds up, and they started, wait a minute, bethinking themselves, as the scripture says.
Exactly.
Just right quick, I just want to get this scripture.
Yes, sir.
John 6:63. John 6:63. As we was talking about the Spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going on. The connection, the Spirit start connecting with the history of our people right here in this Bible itself. Read that right quick for me.
John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth.
It means make alive. It's the Spirit that's quickening. It's what's bringing us alive. This Bible here itself, but read on it, speak for itself.
The flesh profiteth nothing.
Right, all this foolishness and all this talking, anything outside of that, it ain't gonna profit nothing. Read on.
The words that I speak unto you.
Now that's it right there. These words that you're reading right now, officer, these are in red, am I right?
Yes, sir.
These are Christ's words right here. He said, the words that I speak unto you, what?
They are spirit.
Yes, they are, and read on.
And they are life.
That's the key point right there. And they are life. It's bringing the people back out of their amnesia state. They laying there and just in a comatose, not even realizing where they at, what's going on, just going through life, years after years, children after children, and here it is, the word of God now. And like you said, Bishop, Most High is spreading this, pouring out His Spirit now, and it's bringing forth life, and they cannot stop it.
Exactly.
They can't stand it.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. Right. And it's amazing that you said that, because in that vid, and I'm gonna run Price again, and you're gonna see, I want everybody to focus in on the faces of the people as they're hearing this information coming out. And Price wasn't even coming out of the Bible.
Wow.
He was just saying some stuff that was just riveting. And just imagine if he would have brought it out of the Bible.
Oh, boy.
Because that's, again, Price ain't saying nothing different from what this sister is saying.
Exactly.
Because neither one of them are coming out of the Bible. But when you see how this girl in the audience, you're going to see her face as she's hearing this. She's sitting up in church and she's going to hear this kind of stuff here. And just imagine if somebody came right behind her and said, you know what? That puzzled look and that shook the way that you was, here it is in the Bible.
Right in the
Boom.
Bible.
That's going to do it. That's what our enemies are trying to get rid of.
Yes, sir.
So
that's exactly
when we
right.
show that clip, you're going to see exactly. I'm going to point to it. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. Was that it?
Yes,
that was it?
That's it, Bishop.
Okay. You had something, Officer Eli?
I did. There was a point that you brought out, and I think for all of us was the connection to the Bible and our history.
Right.
And we lose it after 1619, right? So now we're starting to see, like you said, you're going to bring out in the video, but it was commanded of us to reconnect with our history.
Right.
Can we get Deuteronomy 32:7?
Absolutely. Come on
Deuteronomy 32:7.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Because we were always commanded to search out our forefathers and search out our history. But They believe in Christ, but disconnect from the fact that that's actually history. That's Roman history,
Right.
Greek history,
Right.
Babylonian history. They disconnect from it because they attach. It's like it's a movie to
Right.
them.
Right.
They don't really put themselves
Right.
in there. Read that for me,
Right.
Cap, please.
I got you. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7.
What did Moses tell us?
He said, remember the days of old.
So when you remove slavery and you remove these things out of schools and from us learning these things, how are we to connect these things back to the Bible? It commands us. Read it again.
Remember the days of old.
Go ahead.
Consider the years of my generation.
Of many-
Read it again.
Let's see. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7 says, remember the days of old.
It doesn't just mean 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It doesn't mean 1916. It means remember the days. Remember our forefathers, our history. Reconnect back to your forefathers, what your heritage is. Go ahead.
Consider the years of many generations.
Read.
Ask thy father.
That's the point. When the bishop said this is the Bible, the book of our fathers, as we're reading this, we're asking our fathers about our history. It's being revealed to us what's going on in our past. Go ahead.
And he will show thee
And this Bible will show us. Go ahead.
thy elders and the will,
And they,
and they will tell thee.
and then we'll teach you. But the whole point is, as Bishop said, we have to reconnect back to the Bible through history. Go ahead, Bishop.
Right.
That's
And
good.
that reconnection was purposely derailed in school.
Right.
It was purposely derailed in churches. Because when our people try to go back, they derail them and send them into the African sections of the libraries. They send them into the Egyptian and all of that other stuff
Right.
and steer them away from where their real history is. And not only that, then they put so-called Jews there to say, listen, that don't belong to you. We got some people that fit the Jewish history already. So look another direction. And that's what they've done in school.
Right.
So they put a bunch of people there, liars, put lies there
Right.
and say, well, listen, that has already been taken. So if you even go anywhere near that, we're going to call you anti-Semitic, blah, blah, blah. When there's 8 Semitic families that I could just run off, right? That's in the Bible.
Right.
The Arabs are Semitic.
Right.
You know, so you got the Chinese are Semitic, the Japanese are Semitic,
Right. Right.
okay, the Assyrians are Semitic, so or Shemitic, I should say,
Right. I guess.
but I'm saying that for the sake of the people because they understand Sem, but it's really Shemitic tribes, it's Shemitic people, okay. So they wanted to derail people's understanding away from our history, just like what you was reading. How would our fathers actually lead us to the truth when it's being blocked off? The history, the scholars in the system blocked it. The teachers blocked it. The religious authorities blocked it.
Right.
All over, they blocked it. So when you even get close to it, they already start shutting you down. Anti-Semitic, hate group, this and that and the other, all to keep us away from going exactly what you just read out of that Bible. So it's a concerted effort. It's a concerted effort. But that's the reason why they mad with the sister. Because, again, she's trying to break through that barrier. She don't even know it. She's breaking through it by just mentioning 1619. Here you have Mitch McConnell talking about something he don't want to deal with it at all. There's no significance in the date. Are you kidding me? There's overwhelming significance with that date. That date pinpoints that we're the Israelites because it connects directly with the Bible. Okay? So they wanted to get rid of it on that level.
I'll tell you another way they try to deter us from that. They come out with this foolishness called Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Yeah. We not just have to deal with that here.
Exactly.
It's another little sidetracking us. Give them Juneteenth,
Right.
you know. Let them take them. They free.
Yeah.
So
That's a social experiment. I know a lot of people
Yes, sir.
don't like me talking like that. They say, "What is wrong with you? We're supposed to be celebrating and all that with the Juneteenth thing." And there's some madness that came up with that thing too. And I'll
Yeah.
bring that on a little later on because I want to stay on my lesson for a little while, and
Yes,
then,
sir. Yes, sir.
we'll get into it. But basically they gave us that because they weren't going to give you that. In other words, they said, "You want reparations? Give them jobs." Give them Juneteenth.
right.
And what are we doing on Juneteenth? Madness. People getting killed on Juneteenth. So it's not the answer to our problem. Give me Jeremiah 31, because what we was just reading out of that Bible, when Officer Eli brought that scripture up in Deuteronomy that said, ask our fathers. But the problem is our fathers don't know this truth. And our enemies are set up against us to make sure that we don't learn it. And God allowed that thing because of our disobedience. Let's read that thing. Let's listen to this here now. This Jeremiah 31, verse 28.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 28.
Yes, sir.
And it shall come to pass that like as I...
Read it again.
And it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Lord.
So the part that I wanted to bring out of this thing here is that the Most High watched over us to destroy us because we were disobedient. So all of the evils and the ugliness that happened was exactly what is said in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. The Most High said that he will send our enemies against us. He will cause us to go on captivity on ships. On ships. Somebody was trying to have an argument about whether it's called slave ships or not. We were the cargo that was on ships, and it was dubbed slave ships. In reality, there's no such thing as a quote unquote slave ship.
Right.
But the ships that we were the cargo that was put on the ships, and we were the cargo. And we were called slaves. So that's the reason why we just use the contractual language and call it slave ships. But those ships were made to carry cargo, and they called us cargo. Okay? And that's what they did to us. All right? So read that again.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 28. And it shall come to pass that like I have watched over them to pluck up.
So the Most High watched over us to pluck us up. He watched our enemies come against us. Just like he said in Leviticus. He said, and they that hate you shall rule over you. The Most High watched over us. Give me that real quick. Give me that in Leviticus. Let's read a little bit about how angry the Most High got with us. Okay? Because I'm going to show you that the Most High is going to resurrect us the same way he watched us to be destroyed. He's also going to watch us in our revival. Okay? And that's what we're coming up to now. We're coming up to that area now. You got the verse?
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 17.
Yes, sir.
And I will set my face against you.
And I will set my face against you. That's what we read. That's what we're reading out of Jeremiah. And I will set my face against Israel. Go ahead.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies. Go ahead.
They that hate you.
They that hate you. This is what Luke was talking about when we read about they that hate us. Go ahead.
Shall reign over you.
Shall rule over us. Go ahead. And they're going to rule over us with false doctrines, false religions, false schooling, education, everything. Go ahead.
And ye shall flee when none pursueth
and
you.
You shall be so afraid you're going to run at the shaking of a leaf. One little Barney Fife person come walk up on the Barney Fife, Andy Griffith,
right?
The little Barney
Ghost and Mr.
Up.
Chicken.
Yeah. He come up and the whole Negroes just start running all over the place.
Right.
Okay, fearful. Some of us are so scared we're scared of our own wives. Scared to death. Scared to be men. Read that again.
Verse 17. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies.
And you shall be slain before your enemies. Come on.
They that hate you shall reign over you.
They that hate you shall reign over you, shall rule over you. Go ahead.
And ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
And we shall run when nobody's chasing us. That's how scared we are. Go ahead.
And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me.
That's what I want. And if you read it again. And if what?
And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me.
For what is this? All the punishments that he was going to put on us.
Right.
He said, and if you don't get your business together after all of what I just did, tearing your butt up. Go ahead.
Then I will punish you 7 times more.
I will put
sin.
7 times more hell on you. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And I will break the pride of your power.
And I will break your power, the Most High said. That's what he did to us. He broke us down. So we're the people. Read on.
And I will make your heavens as iron, and your earth as brass.
Meaning everywhere we turn is going to be a difficult situation, okay? And that's also making reference to slavery, okay? Iron shackles and the brass belts that they put around our head when we tried to run, okay? That would ring an alert the master that it was a runner, okay? So that's letting us know that that's talking about us. So now let's go back to Jeremiah, okay? Because of our disobedience, the Most High caused this to happen.
Jeremiah
yeah.
chapter 31, verse 28.
Yes, sir.
And it shall come to pass that like I have watched over you to pluck up and to break down.
The Most High said he watched over us to pluck us up out of our land and to break our pride down, to break our power, break us down. Go ahead.
And to throw down.
And to throw you down. We're not even like a nation anymore, like he said. That thrown down and break down, that's racial amnesia. Broke us all the way down. Go ahead.
And to destroy.
And to destroy. Our minds have been destroyed. Our history has been destroyed. Whenever we try to teach our own sons, we don't even know what to teach them. Teaching them about some Egyptian and all of that, man.
Right.
No. We've been totally destroyed, and our enemies have been purposely misguiding us in education. But here comes a new day. The Most High getting ready to raise us up. Read.
And to afflict.
And to afflict. So he afflicted us. God afflicted us. He used our enemies to afflict us. Go ahead.
So will I watch over them to build.
So the Most High said, now he says, after they repent, I'm going to watch over them to build them up. That's where we're coming up now. That's what's happening now. Read.
And to plant, saith the Lord.
And the Most High say he's going to plant us now. He's going to build us up because we repented. Like when you read in the book of Kings, when we go to the land of our enemies, he said that we should turn and face Jerusalem and repent, okay, and pray unto him, pray unto the Most High. And the Most High said he will hear our prayers and he will establish us. That's where we're at now. We're repenting as Israelites. Read that statement again.
Verse 29. The end of verse 28?
The end of 28.
So will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Lord.
So the Most High is going to begin to start planting us now. That's the reason why there's an awakening coming up through the land now. Israelites is waking up. Okay, read on.
Verse 29. In those days they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge.
The Most High say he's going to bring us out of this sinful lifestyle that we was in. Setting your teeth on edge, man. Can you imagine that? That's how sin tore us up. That's how painful and ugly our status have felt. We have fallen completely into decay. That's how painful it is. And the sin that we practice is so horrible. It is as if you put your teeth on the curb and somebody stepped on your head. That's the kind of pain that's the kind of pain that this sin has caused our nation. Read on.
But every one shall die for his own iniquity.
Go ahead.
Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge.
So the Most High said the ones of our people that don't repent, they're going to feel this kind of pain here. So a lot of our people that's running around, we was just talking about this Juneteenth thing. A lot of our people don't want to get themselves right. All this truth is coming out now, and they're hearing it, and they're disregarding it, and they're going to pay with death. They're going to pay with death because the Most High is bringing this truth through this earth, and it's time for you Israelites to wake up, okay? So the Most High, the 1619 project that they're trying to get rid of, the Most High got 1619 in the Bible. And he's going to make sure you get it. And those of you that your disbelief going to cause you to not get it, your faith, your disbelief is not going to stop this Bible from rolling through this earth, okay? Now, give me the book of Hosea, chapter 6. Hosea, chapter 6. The book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1.
Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1.
It's wake-up time now. Come on.
Come, and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us.
That's what we just read in Jeremiah. He has torn us up. Now it's time for him to heal us now. Go ahead.
He hath smitten.
He has smitten. He had torn us up. He took our pride away. He took our power away. He took all that away. Come on.
And he will bind us up.
Now it's time for him to build us up because we repented. We're going to follow this Bible regardless of what anybody says or however they think. Read.
After 2 days.
After 2 days. Go ahead.
Will he revive us?
So 2,000 years has already gone by. We're in the third day now. The Most High is raising us up. Read that again.
After 2 days, He will revive us.
He will revive us. He will put life into us. That's Ezekiel 37. Okay, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon those that saw them. That's what's happening now. That's the reason why they're trying to stop certain truths from coming out. That's the reason why they're trying to get rid of 1619, as they call it. They're trying to get rid of that because they're trying to get rid of any kind of connection that could bring the saints home. Oh, when the saints go marching in, you know that's dangerous, because when that last saint is awakened, the 1/3 is sealed up, and the elect is sealed up. So you're trying to stop it. You're not going to stop it. Show your unbelief, make the faith of God without effect? No. So it's going to happen. You're not going to stop it. As it is written, so shall it be done. Read.
In the third day, he will raise us up.
He will raise us up. Go ahead.
And we shall live in his sight.
So the Most High is setting us up. He's getting us prepared to take this planet Earth. That's what he's doing. We're going to live in his sight when he come back and kill our enemies and set us up. So there's not going to stop. There's nothing going to stop this. Read on.
Verse 3. Then shall we know if we follow on to know the Lord.
If we follow on, we don't give up. Brothers and sisters that's in this truth, you know that you've learned X amount. I say X amount. You've learned enough, like the scripture say in Revelation. For that which you have, hold fast till I come. Don't let it go. Increase as you can. But whatever you've learned that got you binded in this Bible, that got you bound to your nationality, to keeping the commandments and dealing with each other like brothers and sisters, hold on to that till Christ come back. Read.
His going forth is prepared as the morning.
His going forth is prepared like the morning. Go ahead.
And he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth.
So the Most High going to completely take care of us. All the thing we need to do is hold fast until he come back. So now, we're coming out of this racial amnesia. Give me Isaiah 1 and 3, then we're going to get to my video. Isaiah 1 and 3. Y'all got my times on the videos, right? On the video that we played last week. All right. Let's read that Isaiah 1 and 3, because we're coming out of this racial amnesia. But we got it now. Our people are suffering from racial amnesia. We're going to read it out of the Bible. Again, the Bible is the book of our fathers, and it points to the fact that this Bible is talking about us. Read.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
God says that the ox, a dumb animal like an ox, knows who his owner is. What does that mean? It means that the ox, when the ox get hungry, he knows who's going to feed him. When the ox needs shelter, he knows who's going to take care of him. The ox knows where he knows where his strength comes from. Let's keep that in mind. The ox knows where his strength is at. Go ahead.
And the ass his master's crib.
And the jackass knows where his land is at. That's what his master's crib is. They got a saying about you could take a jackass way out there. I guess it's a donkey. Take it way away from home, and it always knows how to get back to its master's crib. Okay? So the jackass knows where his land is at, and the ox knows who gives him his power. He knows where his power is at. What is the Lord saying? Read on.
But Israel doth not know.
But the Israelites don't know who their owner is. They don't know where they get their power from. That's what it's saying. They in Christianity looking for a white God. That's not your power. The Most High said that the Israelites don't know who their owner is, neither do they know where their land is at. That's what that statement means. Read the whole thing again.
Verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
And the jackass knows where his land is at. The ox knows who gives him his strength, who feeds him. God is supposed to be our owner that feed and take care of us, that gave us his divine laws and his commandments, and for us to deal like brothers and sisters. He gave that to us. But if we never known that God is our Father, that God is our provider, here we looking for our enemies to do these things and satisfied with that, you have lost your mind. The Most High is saying that he's our owner. Read that again.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
And the jackass knows where his land is at. Jerusalem is our homeland, not Egypt, not these other places. Jerusalem is your homeland. And I don't mean to say it as if it's necessarily cut off from the African continent, because all of that was considered Africa. But your understanding, when you try to say that you're Egyptian, you're actually trying to say that you're Hamitic. You're not Hamitic. You're the Israelites. That's what it is. That's the reason why I'm making a point that you're not to be connected with Egypt per se, because you're not an Egyptian people. You're the Israelites, okay? All of that land was all one area. All of that, the land of Canaan. That's what you call Israel. All of that is talking about the African area, okay? So because ain't no such thing as no Middle East. That's BS. Ain't no such thing as no Middle East. Where's the Middle West at? That just don't make no doggone sense at all. Stupidity. So what the scripture say? Read.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
So our people, we'd have lost our mind. We got total racial amnesia. That's what this verse is telling you. We're reading racial amnesia right now. Read it again for him.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
Two of the dumbest animals on the planet Earth, they know who their owner is, and they know where their land is at.
But Israel doth not know.
We're dumber than an ox and an ass. That's what the Most High said. We don't know who our owner is. We don't know where our strength is at, and we don't know where our land is at. We're dumber than both of these dumb animals. We're worse than them. Go ahead.
My people doth not consider.
And not only don't we know, but we don't even consider to know. Why? Because we're drunk on stupidity. We're drunk with philosophies. We're drunk with Christianity. We're drunk with Islam and Baptists and all that BS. And these dumb holidays. You're drunk with that mess, and that's causing you to be completely erased from who you really are. You're a blank slate, and the evil people have written Negro on your mind, and that's what you're carrying yourselves to be. That's what we're carrying ourselves to be. Talking about he's a Puerto Rican, talking about he's an Indian. No, you're the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's who you are. Okay? So now, let's get to my video. We're going to get this thing now. Let's get it. You got my points, right? All right, let it rip. We played this last week. I want y'all to get it again. We're going to go through this thing slow. I want y'all to get these points well, and I want you to see the parts that as we bring them out. Racial amnesia. This is us. Read. Go ahead, hit it.
Knowledge of race history is
Back it
to
up.
the
You
race.
missed something. You missed something. Go ahead.
Folks, you know them house people? They're going to jump all over me about this, but here, get this now. Quote, knowledge of race history is to the race exactly as an individual's memory is to that individual.
Stop.
The masses of
Stop,
America.
Stop. He said what? What was the quote that he said? I want y'all to listen. He said that the knowledge of, what did he say? Let's get the statement.
Run it back.
Individual's memory is to that individual. The masses of African Americans.
He didn't
suffer
go back to my point.
from
Come on, brother, stay with me.
cultural
I need y'all to follow me.
We the field folks. You know them house people?
Listen.
They're going to jump all over me about this, but here, get this now. Quote, knowledge of race history.
Stop. Knowledge of racial history.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting ready to make the point of the importance of racial history, meaning national history, not just individual, the history of your whole nation. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Is to the race exactly as an individual's memory is to that individual.
Paul, stop. The knowledge of the knowledge of your racial history is just as important as a person's memory is to themselves. Mm. That's the comparison he's making. If you take a person who lose their own personal identity, like for instance a person that suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia, that's it.
How are those people? An individual person that suffers from amnesia, he can't remember anything from yesterday, last week, nothing, years back.
Right.
He is a completely blubbering idiot.
Right.
Anybody can tell him anything because he has no track record, no history, nothing to guide him. When you talk about an individual, but a whole race can suffer from this. That's the point that he's making. That's what I wanted y'all to get. Let's start it again because now I explained it. Now you know how to listen to the rest of the clip. Start it again for my point. Right. Go ahead. Right there. Hit it.
But here, get this now. Quote, knowledge of race history is to the race exactly as an individual's memory is to that individual. The masses of African Americans suffer from partial cultural amnesia because of a certain deliberate program which wiped the slates of our memories clean of true African events prior to the cotton fields of America.
Stop.
Wow.
What wiped our memories clean? Slavery. Damn it.
That's right.
That's what wiped us. That's what wiped us clean. Slavery.
Right.
Boarding schools wiped us clean. The so-called educational system wiped us clean. These dumb, stupid holidays wiped us clean.
Exactly.
These false history and telling us that we're some African Americans, all that wiped us clean. They wrote BS in our minds, took away our real history. That's what made us dumber than an ox and an ass. That's what did it. That's what this man is talking about. Now, the worst part about this is that he ain't bringing out the Bible. But the information is still heavy. And it's so heavy that people right there sitting in the church where he's saying this at is going to start to pick up on it. Just imagine if they was getting the scriptures behind it. That would be something else, wouldn't it?
Right. And I'm sure the Bible right up under their nose.
It's there. It's there.
But you notice, Bishop, when he said that, he said, they ain't going to like what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
He prepped himself.
Exactly.
Even knowing that when I bring this out, this is going to say something.
Right.
And he knew what he was about to say. Right. And he prepped himself and said, they ain't going to like what I'm going to say. And he probably got an old call.
Yeah. Hey, I was looking at some of the comments in the last week because we played this clip last week. And I've seen some of the brothers and sisters that's following, they know about him.
Right.
And they were saying that he was with the TBN, what's that, television network?
Broadcasting network.
Broadcasting, that's that Christian garbage. But he's a part of that network. And they said that he's in a lot of trouble with them. Wow. So he's ruffling their feathers up, and they're like, "Lo, yeah, you're out of line." So they say, I guess he's like, "I don't care, I'm gonna say it anyway." Right. So he's in trouble, with them a little bit. But just imagine I heard that he passed away. I think we talked about that already. So they probably slipped some COVID to him. They said, "You out of line," but I ain't. Right. I didn't want to go that far.
And this ain't his first time kind of busting out the gates on him.
Yeah. So they watching him.
Oh yeah.
Or they watched him.
Right.
But they don't want information like this coming out to the masses.
Not at all.
And we're gonna see why as these clips roll on. Back it up a little bit and let's get them statements. Okay, go ahead. We can start from right there. Hit it.
Because of a certain deliberate program which wiped the slates of our memories clean of true African events prior to the cotton fields of America.
That was when we got off them ships. Hold it. Right. What he's talking about there is on the ships, they were breaking us down. Because there was many revolts that was happening on them ships because we did not want to be broken.
Right.
There were slave revolts when we overthrew the so-called masters. So there was a lot of fighting going on while they was having us on those boats for all those months, 2 to 3 months, chained up.
Right.
Whenever they would give us some break to come up on the deck.
Right.
When they had to throw that salted water on us to get rid of the fleas and all of that, supposedly, so that all of the cargo don't spoil. We took advantage of some of that freedom and started killing them.
Right.
They don't want to bring that information out. But we was fighting then. But they were trying to force that philosophy on us to wipe the memories clean prior to the cotton fields. That's what he's saying. So when we got off the boats,
right,
there's a movie that talks about that thing. There's a movie called Goodbye Uncle Tom. They show you that whole process. On how they shaved our hair off.
Right.
They did a whole lot of things. Yes. They completely made that was a Negro factory. That's what they were doing.
Right.
That was a factory of where they made Negroes. That's when they wrote Negro. That's when they wrote. That's when they just totally destroyed us. That's what he's saying. Before we got into the cotton fields.
Right.
Before we were primed to go into the cotton fields.
In the movie Amistad, that shows some of those examples.
Right. Some of those revolts.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Okay. Go on.
The people here is
but the monsters who perpetrated this cultural genocide were not satisfied.
Hold on. Can we go back just a little bit?
Back it up.
Bishop gonna get it.
You heard it, didn't you?
Bishop gonna get it.
Yeah. What did you say, Captain?
You can tell that they are hearing something that they hadn't been they hadn't been used to hearing.
Right.
They actually applauded. It applauded
Yes.
to a place that they realized that this is what we need to hear.
Exactly.
This is what the black church needs to be
You know
teaching
what's
us.
heavy about that statement? Because our people know that junk in church is BS.
Right.
And when they hear this, when they see this, when they drink a little bit of that water, they said, "This is what I've been needing, and I've been sitting here waiting for it, but now I'm starting to get a little bit of it, and the people react because of that." These Edomites know that. These diabolical people that rule over us, they know that already. They said, "Keep that away from them." Willie Lynch knew about it. They all knew about it. They said, "Don't give them anything that give them any historical, substantial historical base." That's in the writings. I'm gonna read that before this. Well, might not be this episode, but because I didn't bring it in.
I got you.
But it says that. It says that you have to cut off his history. They called us a brute. They said cut off the brute's history so that he can't have no connection to any historical substantial historical base. I remember reading that. So that's the whole point, to cut us off from the history. So the people know the history when they hear it properly, and it connects with their spirit. That's the point.
Right.
It connects with their spirit. They feel it. And you're going to see that in
and
these
Bishop, you remember, you talk about Willie Lynch, but even too, there was a time where even with Fred Price there in the congregation, Master will be sitting in there and make sure he say, teach what he's supposed to be teaching.
Hey, it's amazing.
None of that. Pie in the skies, a better day coming.
Exactly. It's amazing that you said that, because you're right. They always have the white man sitting in there, and even they said that in that documentary.
Oh boy.
Goodbye, Uncle Tom. They said that. They said that because they had the Negroes jumping up and down.
Right.
We used a clip of it in one of our commercials
Yep.
when they were swinging and going all crazy.
Right.
And then all that.
Right.
They said that. They said that you can allow them to do that, but these activities cannot take place without the presence of a white man being
right.
there
Gotta be
to make sure
supervision.
that he guide them into continual foolishness.
Right. Oh boy.
Something else, ain't it?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh well. Yeah, we're about to go into a break, but let's play this last bit of clip, and then we'll take the break, and then we'll continue back with this. Go ahead.
But the monsters
Oh,
that's what I want to hear.
perpetrated this cultural genocide were not satisfied.
Hey, did he call white people monsters?
That's what it is.
After wiping the memory
Hey, let's pause it right there.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after these words.
That's a good closeout part
Yes,
right
sir.
there.
We'll be right back.
Oh, praises.
Throughout the South, especially in Mississippi, it's a different spirit here than in the North. In the North, we're used to saying whatever we want to say. So when we teach the Bible, it's people hear it. Many times they receive it. Many times they reject it. But in here, our people in the southern area, it seems like they're more oppressed mentally and spiritually, that where many of the men, I'm talking about the men, are afraid to say, they want to say certain things, but there's a spirit of fear on a lot of them. And that's why they so desperately need this truth. In the beginning, no. I didn't think we'd go outside of New York too much. But once the Most High brought it to Africa, I knew all the doors was open. The doors were open.
Spirit of the Lord, man, you'll be able to gather these people that lost, man. Our people lost, man. You have to see the oppression here was more heavy than the North. So it is what it is, man. I guess you guys have to do a lot of work, man. Gather these souls, whatever they are, the Spirit gonna gather them.
Yo, listen. We are in the South. We all know what took place in Mississippi, in Mississippi and Tennessee, in these different countries, in these different states, in the United States of America. We all know what took place, right? But what we got to focus in on is that when you read the Bible, when you read Revelation, in Revelation it says, and in her was found the blood of the saints, all right? And the prophets that were slain, in her, meaning right here in America, right here in Mississippi. This land is This land is polluted with the blood of the sick, with the blood of the slaves, the blood of the saints of God. And listen, our job is to prophesy, man, you know? Listen, the judgment coming to America for all the innocent blood that was shed here.
Black, Latino, indigenous peoples, the next time somebody asks you where you're from, go ahead and tell them, say, where I'm from, fathers train up their children in the way that they should go. Mothers, milk nurtures young babes into melanin-rich beauties, a dash of intergenerational curses included, and still, our thoughts remain towards Creator, our Father, in whose image we were made, is real where I'm from, and our gifts make room for us, reflecting ourselves or God back to each other where I'm from. Reading is our love language. That is how we find our way back home despite the centuries in deep sleep. Still, we rise after morning with hope that our sons rise like the gods that they are and know a prophet is not honored in his own home, land, let alone the ones built by and on the backs of his ancestors, the same ones who were sold on ships, slaves to their own rebellion, and still blessed to be chosen where I'm from. My brothers look like God because they are of this earth, dust of the ground and bone of his bones. My sisters are a vision, polished palaces priced far above rubies. Our children are the future. They will know who they are and where they are from because we will love them in our language. So if they really want to know where you're from, go ahead and tell them, say with your whole chest, say, I come from purpose and power, words that literally form me with the intention to make man good. I am presence. I am the gift. I come from the greatest. My people are the salt of the earth, sweet savor, akin to our savior. I am royalty. Loyalty runs through my DNA like woolly hair and burnt brass skin, knowing that love and obedience is much better than sacrifice. I come from confidence in my creator, from time to come and time before. I come from purpose and power, intention and practice.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.
All praise to the Most High. We are back. We are back, brothers and sisters. We are back. We are back. All praises. So, what I want to do is I want to pick up with the video from Mr. Price. Okay, let's get back into that thing, and we're gonna let this thing play out a little bit, and then I want to make those points about some of the people that you're gonna see in the audience, and then we're going to take you further in because Captain Sarai want to bring out some information that's going to go right along with this. So let it rip, brothers and sisters. Let it ride.
Hey, did he call white people monsters?
After wiping the memory slate clean, they wrote upon those slates a series of vicious lies. They wrote on the slates, on the minds of all, black and white alike.
Stop. He said that they wrote on the minds, black and white. What he meant by that, because that might have, well, if you listen to it in its entirety, you'll know what he's saying, but I'm stopping it to get the points in. He had to write, they wrote on our minds about being inferior. They wrote upon our minds about being a Negro. And they also made their own people to look at us that way. But they already they already felt that way about us anyway, because they were born to hate us. But I'm just saying that they put it out there on the media to reflect a negative viewpoint about us as well. So not only did they feed us a diet of self-hate, but they also fed to everybody else to hate us. That's what they meant. Okay? Play on. But we're supposed to be the hate group.
That the African is really an ape.
That's what they wrote. That's what they wrote. Back that up. That's what they wrote. They made us believe that we were ape, and they made the other people believe that we were apes. That's what they did with Rodney King. They say he was gorilla in the midst while they were choking him with that rope and all of that and beating the hell out of him. Wow. That's what that's talking about. Go ahead.
That the African is really an ape, which can speak. They wrote on the slates of the minds of all that the African evolved in the heartland of the jungles of Africa, where not even the faintest glimmer of light of science and learning could penetrate. They wrote on those slates that this African subhuman has neither the genetic ability to learn nor the ability to behave properly.
Stop. He said that they wrote that we were basically dummies, basically stupid. But next week, because Captain, I'm gonna bring it out.
No, you.
I'm gonna bring But I'm saying next week I'm gonna bring out the greatness that we were before they wrote this foolishness on us. I'm talking about out of history books about the great things that we did before the demon, before this. What did the man call it? Before this monster got to us. So we were not just apes that could talk. And a lot of us believe that. Right. Some of our women believe that. That's the reason why they don't even want to deal with their brothers properly. We got this. We learned this evil doctrine about ourselves. But it's time for a change. The Most High said, "Yeah, I caused that to happen because you were disobedient. But when you repent, I'm going to put you above everybody." Okay, and that's where we're going now. Go ahead. Let's let that thing rip.
Program all of this upon the minds of all, black and white alike, end of quote.
I got to find that source. Pause it. I got to find the source of what he's reading. I've been looking for it, but I'm going to dig a little deeper because I want to get the source of that information that he's reading.
Because at one point he said they planned it, or he used the word like it was like they formed it. That's what his point was. They formed it. That's what he said earlier. He said they planned it. He kind of used the word like that. I'm like, okay, he's talking about it in that story. What you trying to find, Bishop?
Right.
He want to be able to. That's a good story to have because they tell the story behind it.
Right. Well, exactly. He's basically he's reading from material that somebody wrote about what white folks did to us. That's what he's saying, and he's reading the information that was written about us in terms of us having racial amnesia. So that's what he's reading about, and he's got the information there. But we gonna get it. We're gonna get it. There's another thing that's further in my lesson that I got to get to. There was this information that was put out by the U.S. Navy about that was called The Choice, and these brothers that used to guard Malcolm X, he was speaking on it. That's further on in my lesson. I don't think I'll get to it in this segment, but I'm going to bring that out because he's going to talk about that there was a study that was done, and it was about it was a study that showed that if there was this great movement that just caused black people to disappear, nobody on the earth would even care.
Wow.
And there was a study that was done by the Navy. For somebody to even do a study like that shows you something ain't right with us. So I'm going to bring that. That's going to come in next week. Lord willing. We're going to bring that in. But let's continue on with this here.
I agree with this because the history of this nation bears it out. On page 23 and 24 of the same book, they ask an important question and answer it superbly. Why study modern history or any history at all? Two of the greatest benefits that can be derived from the knowledge of history is not only the receiving of a better understanding of the present,
look at his face,
but more importantly, that knowledge of history will provide the information with which to shape the future.
Maybe we need to click that again.
Place yourself.
Hold it. Maybe we need to get that again. Back it up again. Let's get them statements. Let's right about there. Let's dissect what he's saying. Because I want to make sure that you get this. Go ahead.
Or any history at all. Two of the greatest benefits that can be derived from the knowledge of history is not only the receiving of a better understanding of the present.
Stop. But hold it. He said there's a benefit to getting history because it gives you a good insight on where you are in the present. So in other words, your history is so important. If you don't have your history, basically, if you don't know your history, you have no idea about your present. You can't even determine what you should be doing right now if you don't have your history that gives you some guidelines on what actions you need to be taking right now. Because you have no history that tells you where you should be. And not only that, if you don't have no information on how to govern yourselves in the present, you damn sure don't know nothing about the future. And that's when you're left to twerking, all types of doing all kind of crazy stuff, all types of foolishness that you see our people do because we have no understanding on what we're supposed to do because you have no knowledge of your past. If you knew that you came from greatness, you would not be acting like a bunch of wild jackasses now. But if they told us that greatness has nothing to do with us, you would actually think that this is where we're supposed to be. And then you have the other nations saying, "Oh, Margaret, look at them. Isn't that terrible?" That's how they will deal with us. Look at them. That kind of thing. And we would be thinking that that's the way we're supposed to be because we have no history about ourselves. Play on.
More importantly, that knowledge of history will provide the information with which to shape the future. Place yourself.
Here we go.
In the position of a successful businessman who, as a result of an accident, has a sudden loss of your memory. You would not know where your office is, nor how to get there. You would not know what successes you had achieved, what you are supposed to do today, nor how to plan for future successes. For all of your knowledge and experience would be entirely lost. You would have to start all over again. You would not know the reasons for your present situation. You could not call on experience and knowledge to plan for a successful future.
Stop right there.
Boy, that's heavy.
That's what I wanted everybody to see. You saw the look on that sister's face?
Yes.
That means this thing is hitting.
Right.
That's what that's telling you. It's letting you know that this thing is hitting her. That Christian junk, she said, no.
Right.
What you're saying right there is hitting me right where it's at.
Right.
So he made the point of saying, picture yourself as a successful businessman. In order for you to even become successful, you look at that, you ready to jump in, huh? In order for you to become successful, there were certain things that you must have had done in order to become successful. You went to school, you did this, you invented this, you built that, you managed this. And all of those things led to your success. Now all of a sudden, boom, your memory of all of that is gone. That's what he's saying. So if your memory is gone, you don't even know why you're in the predicament that you're in. You don't even know the reason why you're in the state that you're in. We don't know the reason why we're in the state that we're in, because our history is cut off. And if you don't have your history that tells you why you're here, you damn sure don't know how to get out of it. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
Okay? So let's back that up. Yeah, man. Show the brothers. Just don't move anything. Just show that sister's face. Look at that sister's face. Ain't no church bells going on in her mind right now. Right now, she said, I need some facts.
Right. Ain't no jumping and screaming
Ain't no
and
jumping,
hollering.
no shouting, none
singing,
of that.
right.
She said, wait a minute. Even though he ain't coming out the Bible, there's some real ish going on here.
That's the face of when you read Deuteronomy 20.
There you go right there. That's exactly it.
Right.
And he ain't even bringing the Bible out. Just imagine if one of us came behind and said, look, sister, here you go. Boom.
Right. Drop Deuteronomy 28
Deuteronomy
on her,
28 on her right there.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, let's back up and get that statement again. Let's get all that. Let's get all that statement. I guess I should have put a time on it. Yeah, let's see where it's at. About the businessman. Let's get the businessman again. Back it up. I want to get the businessman.
Know how to plan is you had achieved.
Back it up. I want the whole statement.
You would not know where you're.
Okay, here we go.
In the position of a successful businessman.
Imagine you being a successful man.
As a result of an accident, has a sudden loss of your memory.
Hold it. The accident was slavery. Yes. He said, you're a successful businessman, and because of an accident, you lost all your information. The accident was slavery. The accident of what these diabolical people did to our people. That's what caused us to lose everything. So that's what he's talking about. Back it up a little bit more. I know I keep cutting it. Back it up a little bit more. Now we're going to let it ride.
Of a successful businessman who, as a result of an accident, has a sudden loss of your memory. You would not know where your office is, nor how to get there. You would not know what successes you had achieved, what you are supposed to do today, nor how to plan for future successes. For all of your knowledge and experience would be entirely lost. You would have to start all over again. You would not know the reasons for your present situation. You could not call on experience and knowledge to plan for a successful future. If your business rival stole your records, they could tell you all kinds of falsehood. They could reduce you to an impoverished, blubbering idiot.
So they stole our inventions. Wait. Because it said that we would have to start all over again.
Right.
So we're doing stuff now in our greatness and thinking this is the first time we did it. Because our history has been cut off. Well, you've been great.
Right.
You've been great. You've been geniuses. To see the sister that got all those awards and they think that that's something phenomenal.
Right.
We've been geniuses.
Right.
But because our history is cut off, all of a sudden we think that we did something that's never been done before. You came from greatness. And then your enemy takes that from you and reduces us to a blubbering idiot and making us think that he's giving us some education. Go ahead. Y'all were going to say something.
And Bishop, I was going to say and you see that. I was going to say that early. Any forthcoming evidence of our greatness or us coming through coming out of amnesia state. I'm trying to get my mouth right because it's hard to say some of these words. Coming out of that amnesia state, they'll strip that from you to put you right back to sleep.
But it's heavy that you said that. Even in our amnesia, we're still dangerous. Like I talk about the stuff that we do.
Right.
Let's just use music, engineering,
inventions,
all them inventions. Like them books I was talking about.
Yes, sir.
All them inventions was made despite the fact that we don't have our history behind us. Understand what I'm saying?
Right.
All of these inventions, like that book I brought out last week.
Yes, sir.
All of that information, and I got more information, tons of it, that shows you all of the greatness, all of the great things that we have done, despite the fact that we don't have our history.
Yes.
So just glimmers and traces of greatness is coming up in our spirit, and we don't even know where it come from.
Right.
It came from God. That's where it came from.
Right.
That's the reason why you're so great. That's the reason why. Because God made us that way. But because you don't know that you're connected to God, you're thinking that you learned this from these people.
Right.
You've been great. And they done everything to make sure that we did. Listen to me, man. They meant for us to be slaves from the very first day until death. They never meant for us to be anything else but their servants.
Mm-hmm.
So they ain't never going to educate us. They don't never want to see us rise. They never want to see us do anything unless it's going to benefit them.
Right.
So your pseudo success is just pseudo. It's just small, just as a pacifier, some kind of little sucker that they give you the lick on to think you got something.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're taking everything away from us. That's the only thing they ever want from us. But even in our terrible state, sparks of genius still comes from us. Just imagine if we can get connected to what God made us. Just imagine if we had that. Let's back that up again. I keep saying that I don't want to stop, but he be saying so much.
Yeah, because you got to really take time to analyze everything he's saying, because everything he's saying, you can tell he really studied into it.
He's telling the history, but he can't tell it through the Bible.
Right. Well, that's our job. But no. But you're right. Because he should be able to go with all them people sitting in that church. He should be able to go in there. But hell, they probably kill him while he's speaking.
They might will.
They probably got somebody out there in the audience with a daggone rifle and a scope while he out there talking.
Exactly. And you remember even too, Bishop and Officer and Cap, even in the book of Babylon to Timbuktu, when we first read of all those things that we've done as a people.
I'm going to bring that out next week. I'm bringing all that. I'm bringing all that out.
It blows your mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that out, and I'm gonna bring out that book that I showed last week.
Right,
and the inventions in there, plus another book.
Oh,
I got three books that got information in it.
Oh boy, I'm telling you
about all of the greatness.
Right,
that might be a whole show in itself.
I believe you're right, Bishop. I believe you're right. And that's why even I run reference with June 19th, because that's to pacify us, to take your mind and say, okay, let's forget about slavery now. We free, we emancipated.
Right.
We don't need to worry about that stuff no more. That's the same thing they're doing to take away the amnesia state that we in. To keep us in amnesia.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. Exactly right. Exactly. That's all that was. Yeah.
You know that light that they use in Men in Black?
Oh, they make you forget.
Yeah, they hit us with it every holiday. They hit us with the light.
Wow.
Go back to being stupid.
Right.
Go back to being.
I
stupid.
never watched that. You made reference to Men in Black last week. I didn't understand because I never watched it.
In Men in Black,
bring it out.
They deal with aliens, right? So the people that see it, they don't want them to recollect what they saw. So what they do is, once they deal with the alien, they'll get the people in the room
that saw it,
and then they'll say, okay, look at me.
Right.
And then they got this pen that flashes a light to destroy their memory.
Wow.
So it wipes their memory out.
Right.
And then they go back to being whatever they was doing. They go back to doing that.
Wow.
But it wipes their memory out clean.
So that reminds me of what they do with these astronauts.
Oh, boy.
When they debrief them. Because they be going out there, they be seeing all kind of stuff, and they come back and they talking too much. They say, no, bring his ass in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to debrief him and tear his ass up, and they come out. He come out.
Give me some, I need something else to drink.
Yeah. I need some, right.
Yeah. He constantly got to
I get it now.
It makes sense.
They say, no, you didn't see nothing.
Exactly. Wipe away that memory.
Go ahead. Hit it.
All of your knowledge and experience would be entirely lost. You would have to start all over again. You would not know the reasons for your present situation. You could not call on experience and knowledge to plan for a successful future. If your business rival stole your records, they could tell you all kinds of falsehood. They could reduce you to an impoverished, blubbering idiot. That condition is called amnesia. Amnesia is not just limited to individuals. A whole race can have amnesia.
Wow.
Damn. Y'all get that?
He's saying
that's the point right there. A whole race can have amnesia, and that's where we at.
Boy,
that's what Isaiah is talking about. Give me the Isaiah again. Isaiah 1 and 3. This is what it's talking about.
Wow.
Isaiah again.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know.
They don't know that they're the Israelites. The Israelites don't know that they're the Israelites. Go ahead.
My people doth not consider.
My people are so wiped out in their mind because Negro was written on it. They don't even consider that they're the Jews. Our people don't even consider that they're the Israelites. That's what they're saying. We don't even consider that because our memory has been wiped away. Okay, and they wrote Negro on us. That's what they did. They wrote Puerto Rican on us.
Right.
They wrote West Indian on us. They wrote Mexican on us.
Right.
That's what they did. Okay.
Indians.
They
wrote that on us.
Right.
And speaking of that, read that again. I just want what you just read, Isaiah 1 and 3.
Isaiah chapter 1 verse 3.
Uh-huh.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know.
Israel doth not know what?
My people doth not consider.
And that's why we got to bring out classes like this on the radio show, the Bible, the Book of Our Fathers. Give me that clip. It's a clip that goes back. It's you should have. I just sent it. I resent it, matter of fact. Okay. It's dealing with, so we're not just talking about the black man. Bishop was just bringing out, we not just only talking about the black man, we talking about the black, the Hispanic, so-called black, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American Indian. Because Israel, they are Israel likewise, okay? We are the children of Israel, every last one of us, okay? So
now, Officer Eli, don't lose your point because I know you want to say something.
Yeah, you got some.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
so we talking about amnesia. It wasn't just done to us, okay? It's continually been throughout the whole nation of Israel, okay? So they're gonna pull it up. Y'all just saw it a few minutes ago. I just saw it. Y'all had just that's it right there. It's about 53 seconds. Let's see. That's it right there. And we hear the term all the time, save, how we say it?
Kill the Indian and save the man.
Kill the Indian and save the man, okay?
Basically forced acculturation, forced assimilation.
Forced assimilation.
Society. I mean, they even had slogans like, kill the Indian, save the man.
Civilization.
That's genocide.
Pause it just for a minute.
And friends of mine, we used to
pause. So you, I guess you can hear them singing in the background because you can see that the Indians, so-called Indians, okay, which are Israelites, okay, they were destroyed likewise, okay. Their heritage, their custom, everything about them was stripped from them, okay. Well, they even killed off the mothers. They killed off the fathers. They took these young kids, okay, and put them in these what we call the boarding houses or the Americanized schools.
Basically concentration camps.
Concentration camps, exactly, right. To strip everything out of their minds and put them in an amnesia state.
Just
okay?
imagine how messed up that is. These people are on their own land.
Yes.
Imagine what kind of program, imagine what kind of diabolical program it takes to take the people who own the house.
Mm-hmm.
I come to your house, you got the whole house.
Right.
The whole house is yours.
Right.
I relegate you to the bathroom and make you want to stay in the bathroom.
Wow.
Remember that video that Bishop showed a couple of weeks back with the Hamas? The Jewish guy went to the man's house, and he was like, either me or somebody else is going to take it, so I might,
right.
You know,
That's
he just went and just took the man's house.
Right. That's diabolical.
You got to be some type of nerd to be able to just walk in somebody's house and say, you know what, I like this land. I like the way you got the chandeliers.
Mm-hmm.
The refrigerator's full. I think I want to move here.
Right. Yeah, they got that manifest destiny thing in their mind.
Yeah.
They actually think they're just going to walk up and just claim it, and that just be it.
Wow. Wow.
These people are sick.
And we're talking about, again, the Native Americans had their own land. They had their own house, their own little, we say city, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and we're going to play on, but we're pretty much illustrating because you hear them kind of singing in the background. But just look at the visuals to see what happened to our brothers, the Native American Indians, okay, which are Israelites. What you got, Cap?
Okay, he was talking about. He said they was barbaric. We got them domesticated, And look at him now. We got him out here raking. You know,
right.
We got him tamed now. He said some wild stuff about him. Just go back a little bit and listen to what he said about him. Just back it up just a little bit. You know, like I said earlier, they're calling them apes.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right. Savages. Right.
Yeah, that's what he called them. Savages. Read it. Go ahead and play it.
They brought from their state of comparative savagery and barbarism.
Savagery and barbarism. To civilization. That's slavery.
That's all it is.
Pause it for a minute. Now you hear him singing 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians. You see that? They already brainwashed him, man.
Wow.
Yes.
But these simple Negroes out here talking about some of these people don't fit the curses.
Boy, I tell you. Exactly.
Look who they throw in there.
Right. Before you play it, just go ahead and put the picture over on the screen. I want them to see that because the visual says a lot. Because we spoke about this earlier. This is how, again, the amnesia is being constantly pushed upon our people. Look what they got here. They got old Santa Claus. Okay. Not on that, he got an American flag in his hand, which you're going to see once we play. You're going to see the flag. So there again, how they were dealing with these young children. Play on.
Basically forced acculturation, forced assimilation into
forced assimilation
society. I mean, they even had slogans like "Kill the Indian," "Save the man." That's genocide. Me and friends of mine, we used to talk about how we wish it could be, and once when there was big buffalo herds, and when everything was back.
If you see that right there, you see how the structure and the militant and the how can I say it?
Organization.
Right, that they're putting on them. You see all them Indian, so-called Indian, Native Americans. Look how they in all dressed the same. You see what I'm saying? Even in their dress, they had their own culture. They had their own way of how they dress. All praise the Most High. They got them. The women, you see them in skirts, you know. But you know that changes as time goes on. But play on. I just wanted y'all to catch some of these visuals. Play on. It's about over.
The way it was, but just thinking that
pause it.
Never.
Look at that. They made them militant. Look, what's that the move right there to the side with the arm out? You don't know. Captain Shim got
I don't want Captain Shim get on me.
What's that called there? I know y'all brothers know.
Short space.
Say it again.
Short space.
There it is. You see that? This ain't nothing new up under the sun. But play on.
Gonna be.
The government school.
That's it. He heard him. Last thing you heard him say, the government school. Yeah, right.
Yeah, this man got a lot to pay for. Go ahead, Officer B.
I was going to make the point that everything that they're reading goes back to Psalms 83.
Yes, sir.
Let's get that. It wasn't the Most High did it, but all of the nations had a part to play in it.
Right.
You know, we were property to all of them.
Right.
We were what they call it. We were the merchandise.
Right.
Okay.
That's
we
true.
made this global economy runs off the backs of us. Let's start at Start at 3.
Psalms 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against our people.
Go ahead.
And consulted against our hidden ones.
So in order for them to give us amnesia, everybody had to be in cahoots.
The them is enemies. Let's put the name on it. Go ahead. But like you said, they had to be in cahoots.
Yeah, everybody was in cahoots with this. Okay, go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That's the amnesia. That's the light.
Right.
That's the men in black light that they put up.
Look at that. Dang, you just brought it right out the Bible. That's the verse right there. Let us cut them off from being a nation that the what? That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That's the
that's
light.
That's the amnesia right there. Racial. So basically what the Bible just said, man, that's on point. That's telling you that the Jews, the real Jews, do not know who they are. That goes with Isaiah 1 and 3, but clearly that explains it clearly. All of the nations came together and said, we must come together and wipe the slate clean so that the real Israelites never find out that they are, in fact, the Israelites. So that's us. Just like we read in the beginning, the Bible bears witness that we are the sons and daughters of the Most High.
Right.
That's
Wow.
right.
Right.
Check that
out. And that's why we have to come on like we do and put the disclaimer up and let them know we ain't a hate group, because we're bringing out scriptures like you just brought out, Psalms 83. It's just clear. They help bring us out of that state of amnesia.
Well, in their mind, we are a hate group. Because they say your action is against me putting you in slavery.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Here's a woman trying to get away from her attacker.
Right.
And she runs. She said the attacker says, You're advocating hate by running from me. You're trying to protect yourself from me. So you're a hater.
Right.
How dare you hate oppressors?
And I'll make the whole world look at you as a hater, although you got whips and scars all on your back for me trying to tear you up.
Oh, boy.
That's the logic these diabolical people are about. You know what?
And that's what he said,
Yeah.
Bishop. He said the black and the white.
Right.
He said, like Bishop brought out earlier, one, he's going to make us seem inferior.
Right.
And then he's using the other to give them superiority over us.
Right.
So they have to balance it out. They can't just wipe us clean without giving them the ingredients to keep the soup going.
That's what the whole educational system is about. They indoctrinated us with that thing. But the Most High, listen, these people going to pay for what they did. I just got to read this. I got to give our people a little bit of good news, just a little bit.
Yes,
give me the book. Give me the book of Genesis, because they got to pay for this thing here. Give me Genesis. Give me chapter 4, verse 13. Verse 13 and 14. Read that.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment.
Cain is the forefather of all so-called white people. Okay? Cain came back in the earth as Esau when you read Genesis 25. And so you can understand clearly the wicked seed, the diabolical seed. Cain was the diabolical demon, and Esau was the diabolical demon. Okay? So that's his lineage. He came back in the earth as Esau. And that's what we're reading about. Esau, we're going to read about Esau, but we read about Esau's forefather, which is Cain. Read it again.
Verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Because he killed his brother Abel. And all of the people on the earth were going to look to kill us behind, because it wasn't just them on the earth. Okay? We went over this, so I don't know if we ever talked about it on the air, on the show, but Cain and Abel and his two parents, and Adam and Eve were not the only people on the planet Earth. There was millions of people on the earth at that time along with them. So that's the reason why Cain's saying what he's saying there. Read it again.
Verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Because all of the nations knew the law. The law said that whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. All of the nations knew that, because Adam's job was to teach the nation those laws. So they knew that. And all of the nations were going to look to kill him because of the evil that he did when he killed his brother Abel. Read it again.
And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Go ahead.
Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth.
Read verse 12.
Verse 12. When thou tillest the ground.
When Cain tilleth the ground.
It shall.
You know what? Read verse 11. I'm sorry. I should have started with 11. Read.
Verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth.
Because he killed Abel. Read.
Which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
Because the children of Cain, which is Esau, polluted the earth. And the Most High wasn't going to allow the earth to yield unto her the strength of the earth. That's the reason why the earth is in trouble now. That's the reason why this man got to go.
That's the reason why they make GMO.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because the earth ain't yielding the strength. That's the reason why, another part of the scriptures, it says that when we get to the land of Israel, the land is going to be like, listen, these are the people, now I'm going to yield my strength to them. And for they are for to come. That's the scripture I'm talking about.
And I'm thinking about also that's why he killed, steal, and destroy too.
Right. Go ahead, read. I ain't done with them yet.
A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth.
A fugitive and a vagabond shall the children of Cain be. The children of Esau are going to be a fugitive and a vagabond. What does it mean, a fugitive? A fugitive is a man that's running from his crimes, running from justice, running from justice. That's what it's talking about. Read that statement again.
A fugitive.
Fugitive, a man running from justice.
Wow.
That's why it's saying a fugitive there. Go ahead.
And a vagabond shall thou be in the earth.
Go ahead.
And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass.
And what?
And it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass for this fugitive. Go ahead.
That everyone that findeth me.
Remember those words. That everyone that findeth me. Keep those words in your mind. Read.
Shall slay me.
Shall slay this fugitive because his justice is caught up to his behind. Shall slay me. Is that the end of that verse?
Yes, sir.
Now give me Isaiah 13. We're going to read the prophecy about him getting it now. Isaiah 13 and verse 14. Watch this.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. Therefore.
No, Isaiah 13, verse 14. Verse 14.
Verse 14. And it shall be as a chased roe.
The it is the vagabond. The it is the fugitive. The it is Esau. Read it again.
And it shall be as the chased roe.
The Most High refers to him as it. And it shall be as a chased roe, as a chased deer. Wow. That's what Esau is going to be when that time comes. When it's time for him to get the justice that he didn't get from way back then. His time, because he had to, the Most High had to protect him so that he could be the demon. So that he could destroy, mess up, and be the terrible devil that he is. But then his time is going to run out. And the Most High say, okay, I'm done with you. Now it's time for me to kill you. Read it again.
And it shall be as the chased roe.
The chased deer. He's going to be as a chased deer. Go ahead.
And as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Hey, he's going to be like a sheep that nobody's going to try to hide. He's going to be like a diseased sheep. You don't put your diseased sheep with your good sheep.
Right.
He's going to be, this doggone sheep are going to be trying to come and hide. No, you stay on the street.
Get out of here.
You get out of there because he's going to be getting chased. That's what this is saying. He ain't going to be, listen, you know how the black women love him now? Oh, I want this hunk and this and that, and the black man looking for this blonde woman, all of that. And that day, ain't nobody going to want him. They're going to be like, no.
Stay away.
Stay away. Read that again.
6 feet.
Right. COVID, because he got COVID. Read it again.
Verse 14. And it shall be as the chased roe.
And it, the seed of Esau, the seed of Cain, shall be as the chased deer. Go ahead.
And as a sheep that no man.
Can you imagine everybody chasing after a sheep? That's how they're going to be. You got to think about it. Everybody going to be. Look at the evil that these people have done all over the planet.
Wow.
The Most High had to give them weapons to keep everybody from killing them. That was the mark that God gave them.
That's heavy right there, Bishop. Wow.
Because they would have been God. He said, thou will greatly despise. Everybody would have went and killed this man by now, but the Most High had to give him protection, give him the weapons. And by thy sword shalt thou live. That's how. That's how he's able to live, because he's got the technology to keep him awake.
Wow.
But at the Most High going to bring all that down, and then the nation's going to be like, now we can go get him.
Right.
That's what we reading here. This is prophecy. This ain't happened yet, but it's coming.
Right.
Read that again.
And it shall be as the chased
Most High
roe.
doesn't even dignify with a name. Hey, like he said in another part, he said his name, his nephew, all that's going to get cut off. Like he cut us off, he going to cut them off, and you're going to be reduced to an it.
So he going to read Psalms 83 itself.
Right,
hey.
exactly.
I mean, he calls him a beast.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Read that again. We ain't done with him.
And it shall be as the chased roe.
And he shall be as a chased deer. Go ahead.
And as a sheep that no man taketh up.
He's going to be as a sheep that nobody wants. Go ahead.
They shall every man turn to his own people.
Go ahead.
And flee every one into his own
So
land.
all this getting together, race mixing and all that, that's going to be over with. Most High going to cause everybody to go back to their own land, and they're going to be the exposed ones. Go ahead. And the Most High going to find them, too. They ain't going to be able to hide.
Right.
Go ahead.
Everyone that is found shall be.
Hey, remember those words? Everyone that is what?
That is found.
Everyone that findeth me.
Right.
That's what we read in Genesis.
Yes, sir.
Read that again.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
That's the justice that he's running from. Every one of them that's found in that day going to kill him.
Because he said that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Right. This is when he's going to get it. Now you see why they're trying to get rid of this Bible? Because they're going to get that judgment is coming. Read that again.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Go ahead.
And everyone that is joined unto them.
And all you black women and black men that's joined unto them in that day, you're going to die with them. That's what it's going to say. Read it.
Shall fall by the sword.
You're going to get put to death because it's time for them to get their justice. They're not supposed to be on this earth just ruling. Their only purpose of even being here is to be the devil that the Bible speaks of. Once their job is done, the Most High has no more need for them. He's going to have them all burn up. Now, here goes somebody, damn, that's some real hate speech there. Hey, I'm sorry. That's what the Bible says.
Right.
That's what the Bible says.
Right.
Read it again.
Verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Every one of them that is found shall be thrust through. Hold that. Go back to Genesis so we can get it. So we get the connection. Let's get the words. Let's get the words there.
Genesis chapter 4.
Verse 15. Come on.
Verse
15.
15. And the Lord is 14.
It's 14.
14. Come
Yes,
on.
sir.
All right. Yeah. 14. Read.
Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid.
Yeah, he's trying to hide. That sheep trying to hide. That trying to hide. Go ahead.
And I shall be a fugitive.
I shall be a man running from justice.
And a vagabond.
Because not only did he didn't kill Abel. Not only did he kill Abel, who else has his man killed?
Wow.
Think about all of the people that has died at the hands of this man. You don't think he's going to get paid back? Yes.
That's it.
Go ahead.
And I shall be a fugitive
This
and
is what
a
he said.
vagabond.
And I shall be a fugitive running from justice and a vagabond. Go ahead.
In the earth.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass.
And it shall what?
Come to pass.
It shall come to pass in Isaiah. That's what we were talking about. Go ahead.
That everyone that findeth me.
That everyone that what?
Findeth me.
That what?
Findeth me.
And go back over to the other one that said, and they be found.
Isaiah 13, verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
That's what it's talking about. Go back to Genesis and let's finish that up. Everyone that findeth me.
Everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
That's crystal clear. Go back over to Isaiah.
Isaiah 13, verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Read.
And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
That's crystal clear. Who's saying this? God. Read.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces.
You hear that? The Most High said that children going to be dashed to pieces. So you black women opening up your knees and allowing this man to pump seed through you, those children are going to get put to death because they're not Israelites. Those are the seed of demons. Those are demon seeds that you're having. That's hate talk. Hey, listen, I'm reading the Bible.
Right.
That's what it is. Read.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Their children shall be chopped up before their eyes. That's what Psalms is talking about. Their heads, he said, their baby's going to be bashed up. He said, happy shall he be that taketh thy little ones and bash them against the stones. That's crystal clear. That's out the Bible. Okay? So go ahead.
Bishop, it's just going back. You've done some classes on when you were showing that they had hung the 13.
They're going to pay for all that.
And you
all
see the man back there holding the baby in his by the legs and swinging and bashing him against the rock.
Exactly. They did that to our children. The Most High said that all that, they got to pay for all of that.
Wow.
They're going to pay for all that. You know, our elder in the old school, he was reading through stuff like this here on the street. He was bringing this out. And he said, this thing is going to be so terrible. He said, you know what? I can almost feel sorry for you. But he said, but you damn sure didn't feel sorry about us.
Right.
So he quickly got back into the spirit. Because these
When
are
no
some
amnesia
terrible
there, was it?
judgments. These are some terrible judgments. All throughout this Bible, it talks about him. He says, surely, he said, I have sworn by my wrath, God said, that Bozrah shall be a desolation. He said, I have sworn by myself that I will destroy them.
The funny part about this is they gave us amnesia, but they have to remember that this is going to happen regardless.
Exactly.
They have to remember
They're going to get it. Yep.
They got to live every day knowing
They know it's
that
coming.
their judgment is coming. That's why that fugitive and a fugitive is running knowing I'm going to get caught eventually.
Eventually, I'm going to get caught. Your weapons ain't going to work forever.
Right.
They ain't going to work forever. That's the reason why that Bible said what it says. Shall their unbelief make the faith of this Bible without effect?
Right.
God said, God forbid. The Bible going to come to pass whether you like it or not. You call it hate speech. You call it whatever you want. Irregardless, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. You're going to get it.
And speaking of them weapons, you see how much hell they raised trying to keep their gun rights and all that and running all up in the
Ain't
Capitol.
nothing going to stop it, brother. Ain't nothing going to. Hey, we couldn't stop our slavery.
Right?
That's
You're
right.
right.
We didn't believe.
Right.
We act like we
You're right.
Moses told us this way back during the time of Sinai when we came out of Egypt.
Yes, sir.
He said, you're going to go on ships.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go into slavery with ships,
That's
yokes
right.
of iron and all that. We,
That's right. You're right.
boom.
Egypt again. That's
Boom.
right.
Tore down,
Tore up.
pulled down.
Right.
Tore up. We didn't believe it. It happened to us. That's why Lamentations say what it says. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry us away into captivity. He will visit thy sins, O daughter of Edom, and he will discover your evil that you did against us. So you ain't getting away.
Not at all.
You ain't getting away. So I just had to give that to the brothers.
Thank you.
Had to give that to the
You
sisters.
brought something out, Bishop. When it says everyone to go to his own land.
Yes.
They're the only ones that do not have land. That's why I said they are fugitive and a vagabond.
Right.
They don't have land. That's why they're in
exactly.
everybody else's land. They came here and took from the Native Americans and the Hispanics. Europe was ours.
Yep.
Canaan, they took over Africa. They're in the Middle East. They're everywhere, but they don't have a land. So the Most High is going to send everybody back to their own land, so like you said, everybody get away from them.
Right.
You go home.
And Mount Seir can't hold all of them.
That's all I'm going to say.
So if they go to Mount Seir, some of them going to spill over into somebody else's land, and oof, they're going to be done. that ain't going to be enough of them.
Not at all.
You know.
Some good stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got with time running, I just want to make these points here. Give me the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14. This is about the Israelites. We're coming out. It's time for us to be revived, like we was reading in Hosea. Hosea saying the third day he will raise us up. So this is what we're going to talk about now. We're going to read these scriptures real quick. Okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 14. This is the process on how this is happening. Read.
2nd Ezra chapter
13, chapter 14, verse 13.
2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 13.
Yes, sir.
Now, therefore, set thine house in order.
So the Most High starts off by building us up, building up the men, building up the women. He's going to make sure that our houses are in order. And it's going to take you men going to have to stand up and be real men. Get this knowledge, straighten yourselves out, come out of this foolishness, get yourselves together like the scriptures say. Read.
And reprove thy people.
And once you get your mind right, then you can go ahead and be that beacon of light and that example to your brothers so that they can wake them up, so they can wake up each other, and let's get ourselves together so we can go get this kingdom and take the kingdom like the Most High said. Read.
Comfort such of them as be in trouble.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to comfort you, brothers and sisters, with the scriptures. Go.
And now renounce corruption.
And we're going to renounce corruption, all the evil and the foolishness that we see our people doing all over this globe. Got to be renounced. We got to bring that mess down and condemn it and bring everything under the subjection of the Most High's commandments. Read.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Stop worrying about what the nations and fearing their imaginations against us. The Most High said, fear not the incredulity of those that have evil imagined mischief against us. We ain't worrying about that. The Most High got our back. Read on.
Cast away the burdens of man.
Read.
Put off now the weak nature.
You men, you're going to be made to stand up like the men of the Most High. You're going to put off the weak nature and not be getting sidetracked with BS. This is amazing. Come on, brothers. Let's get this thing together. Give me the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. Matthew 5:13. Time for us to get ourselves together. The Most High is bringing this light, bringing this information for us to wake up. It's time for us to take our crown. Most High he's building us up for us to get it. And you brothers, you're not supposed to be defiled by nothing. You're supposed to make sure that you fight to the end. Make sure you get this kingdom. Read.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 13.
Yes, sir.
Ye are the salt of the earth.
The Most High said that you Israelites are the salt of the earth. That's what makes us superior to everybody. If we getting rid of this amnesia, you're going to find out how great you are. You are the salt of the planet. And the planet needs us. Read.
But if the salt has lost its savior.
But if you've lost your memory, if you've lost if you got amnesia, because of our amnesia, the earth went to hell. And the earth is waiting. The earth is earnestly waiting for the manifestation of us coming back so that the earth can rejoice. That's why they said the whole earth is at rest when we get in our rulership. Read.
Wherewith shall it be salted?
How's the earth going to get its how's the earth going to get its benefit? How's it going to get its seasoning if we are suffering under amnesia because we refuse to wake up? We don't have to be in amnesia anymore. The Most High got the comforter here, the Bible. Read.
It is thenceforth good for nothing.
And that's the reason why the earth ain't yielding her strength to nobody, because it's being trodden down, because wicked people are ruling it. Because the earth is earnestly waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. Read.
But to be cast out and to be trodden down under foot of men.
That's what's happening with the earth now. People just walking on it. The earth is not producing anything now because the right rulers are not in rulership. Read.
Verse 14. Ye are the light of the world.
Come on.
A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
This is a big part of here. I'm going to have to go over this thing some more. The city is the organized nation. It starts off with the organized nation. A city has many different facets that work together as a system that fortifies the whole city. The water system, the electrical system, the construction, the education, health, food, water. All of those systems work together to make a city. That's what we do here in IUIC. We work together, different departments, different administrations, different offices. We learn how to operate like that because the Most High is setting us up for world dominance. Okay? Read. That's the city. He said a city that sits on a hill. So our people got to learn how to come together and learn how to be righteous brothers and sisters in order. Read. Come on.
Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and giveth light unto all that are in the house.
Read.
Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works.
And that's what we're doing here in IUIC. We're trying our best to show the great light of the Most High through our examples to all you brothers and sisters for you to get your minds right. Read.
And glorify your Father which is in heaven.
And when the people see that we're doing the right thing, our brothers and sisters going to repent because they're going to follow our example because we're following Christ. Okay? So now, give me one more. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. 1-5. Come on, quick.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face.
We're the ones with the light. The Most High said, let your light shine. These are the people that is going to stand up in great boldness. Read it again.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Who afflicted us? Esau and all the nations, and they all going to get jacked up for doing that. Read.
And made no account of his labor.
They didn't care about the slavery that we put out. They even lied on it, tried to say that our slavery is not attached to what the Bible is saying. They're going to pay for all of that. Read.
When they see it, They shall be troubled with terrible fear.
That's what we read in Revelation. It said when they see us repenting and coming back, it said they shall shake with terrible fear. Great fear fell upon them which saw them. So you can understand that great army of the Most High's men, that spiritual army that's going to be disciplined, is going to keep the laws of the Most High. Mm-hmm. The nation's going to be terrified because they say if these people are waking up, their God is going to fight for them. Read.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
That's those chariots, the saucers, those chariots, what they call UFOs. That's the strangeness of his salvation. He's going to come down here and liquefy everything that's in the way of saving Israel. He said he's going to destroy our enemies, and he's going to save us from the hand of our enemies and from all that hate us. That's what the book of Luke, the 1st chapter, verse 6 to 8 on down, talks about. Read.
So far beyond all that they look for.
Meaning it's beyond their weapons. That's what it's talking about. So far beyond all the stupid weapons that they made to try to deal with the angels. The angels is going in their house. Then they come out and become big as the earth. They come back and land on his coffee table. That's what the angels can do. You ain't got no technology to deal with that.
Right.
They can be as small as a cup. Then they can just go outside and become big as the earth. What the hell are you going to do? How you going to deal with that kind of technology? So far beyond anything that you can imagine.
Right.
Read.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he?
This was these Negroes that we wiped the slate clean? Go ahead.
Whom we had sometime in derision?
Derision mean confused, meaning you know nothing about who you really are. Go ahead.
And a proverb of reproach.
Call them a nigger. Call them an Indian. One got the Israelites talking about some 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians.
Right.
That's total reproach and embarrassment. That's what they did to us. But you're gonna pay for that. Read.
We fools accounted his life madness.
We fools, because that's what you're gonna realize. You're gonna realize that church junk that y'all been involved in ain't worth a damn. You've been in the pure, complete madness. Read.
And his end to be without honor.
They thought that our end, they just figured that we just go to Potter's Field and just die. There's no honor to us. You're going to find out that we're the sons and daughters of God. Read.
How was he numbered?
How is he? Go ahead.
Numbered among the children of God.
How are these people that we call niggas and gorillas, how in the world are they numbered among the people of God? Go ahead.
And his lot is among the saints.
And he's of the 144,000. So brothers and sisters, you got that? We're coming for you. We're coming for you. With that, brothers and sisters, we're going to sign off for this episode. You want to carry us out, Captain?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to continue next week with the rest of this series. But we love you. Keep the faith. Stay in the commandments. Go ahead, Captain. Hit him.
All praises.
Let the rhythm hit him.
Do not neglect to give alms. For those who like to give alms, fill out an envelope and place it in your local alms box in your IUIC schools, okay? To give alms online, donate to IUIC Concord via PayPal at iuic.concord.nc@israelunite.org. And also donate to the Booster Club via PayPal at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. And we appreciate all your donations to help us keep pushing this gospel through the four corners of the earth.
Okay, all praise to the Most High. I'm Bishop Yawasop, signing off. I got Captain.
The car, good to be with you, Israel.
All praises. Sarai Israel here.
Also, Eli, happy new moon, happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath, brothers and sisters.
Israel.
Stay
Shalom.
strong.
Most
We'll
High
be
Christ
back
bless.
next week. Shalom. Most High Christ bless you all. Good night.